Gates-backed company sells millions of dengue fever vaccines to counter the outbreak another Gates-backed company caused. You can't make this stuff up. Um, you, I mean, Gates got his hands in everything, especially pertaining to vaccines and genetic modification of these mosquitoes. And I mean, if you look at it, you have to know that this is on purpose. You have to look at this and know that he's doing this on purpose to make more money. You cause a problem, and then you come with a solution. Problem, reaction, solution. The Hungarian dialectic. We all know about this. You cause a problem, and then you put forth the solution, and he's making billions off of this crap, and no one is stopping him. No one in government is saying you can't do this, and he's just running amok. So we're gonna talk a little bit about that. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button, share this out so we can get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. It has a link to my Patreon. That's where I talk about things I can't talk about here. There's also a link to my Instagram and my merch store. Also, check out jjthepsychotherapist.com for news as well. All right, let's talk about this news. Now, this comes from the Liberty Daily by Ethan Huff by way of Natural News. And he reports that a dengue fever outbreak is sweeping across Brazil after billionaire eugenicist Bill Gates unleashed untold billions of genetically modified mosquitoes that carry it into the wild. And now the Brazilian government wants to buy loads of Gates's dengue fever vaccines to stop the spread. I mean, no, I mean, really though, Brazilian government, you don't think it's weird that he just happened to release these genetically modified mosquitoes, and then you have a spread of the dengue fever? You think this just happened by accident? Come on, wake up, people. Well, reports indicate that 40 people in Brazil have so far died from dengue fever, according to the nation's health ministry, while another 265 deaths are being investigated to see if they too are linked to the outbreak. And I'm gonna play a video clip, a little bit of a report on that. But Brazil's response to the outbreak has not been one of reflecting as why they are suddenly a 400% increase in dengue fever cases ever since the GMO mosquito release. Remind you, this is supposed to fix the problem. And the problem is 400% worse after they release these mosquitoes. And they don't call them out on that. Why aren't they speaking or calling out Bill Gates on this? Instead, the South American country has decided to purchase 5.2 million doses of a dengue fever vaccine called Qdenga that was developed by Japanese drug maker Takeda. Another 1.32 million doses will also be sent at no cost. 3 Brazilian states have declared emergency status, including Minas Gerais, Brazil's second most populous state, as well as the federal district where the capital city of Brasilia is located. Since the start of 2024, there are already more cases of dengue fever in Brasilia than there were during the entirety of 2023. The infection rate is currently 1,625 cases per 100,000 inhabitants, which is far higher than the national average of 170 cases per 100,000 inhabitants. Wow. And children aged 10 to 14 will start receiving the Qdenga injection this week in an attempt to stop the spread of the disease. But will it work? So let's play this news clip here. Here we go. I'm not going to play the whole thing.
The year 2024 started with a severe health crisis for Brazil as the country's hot rainy season led to a massive dengue outbreak. The Brazilian rainy season from December to May are also the hottest months of the year. According to health officials, Brazil has reported 364,855 cases of dengue infections and 40 deaths in the first 5 weeks of this year. This is equivalent to 4 times the cases reported in the same period as last year. Responding to the outbreak, 3 Brazilian states have declared emergencies, including the second most populous state, Minas Gerais. Army troops have been deployed in the capital, Brasilia, to help track breeding spots of the Aedes aegypti mosquito and to set up hospitals. And with the Rio de Janeiro Carnival, a mega event attended by 1 lakh people per day, set to begin on February 14, Brazil is highly volatile at the moment. The sudden surge in dengue numbers for Brazil during the southern hemisphere summer can be attributed to the rising temperature and the El Nino weather pattern in the Pacific.
Wow, so they're blaming the temperature, the rising temperatures. We've always had rising temp. We always had heat. What are they talking about? They refuse to blame um, um, Gates for it. They refuse to blame Gates for it. That tells me that he probably have a lot of the media there and a lot of people in government paid off.
The dengue crisis is not just limited to Brazil. In recent years, other countries in South America, Africa, and South Asia have experienced a surge in the number of dengue infections. This current dengue outbreak is part of a large global increase in dengue fever, with over 500 million cases and over 5,000 deaths reported last year from 80 countries in every.
All right, so I'm gonna move on here. UN World Mosquito Program also responsible, so it's more than just Bill Gates. It's a huge multi-tiered program. In 2023, the United Nations World Mosquito Program announced a 10-year plan to unleash so-called gene-edited mosquitoes in Brazil. The alleged purpose being that these GMO bugs will one day eradicate dengue fever from the country. Quote, Brazilian health officials in 5 cities have been releasing clouds of lab-grown Aedes aegypti mosquitoes infected with Wolbachia bacteria, which prevents dengue virus transmission to humans, announced Harvard Public Health in an August 2024 report. Quote, the country will be the first to launch a nationwide program to release Wolbachia modified mosquitoes, which are expected to protect up to 70 million people from dengue fever over the next 10 years. And it's building a factory to scale up mosquito production beginning in 2024. The factory will mass produce 5 billion mosquitoes a year. In the year since this announcement was made about the release, dengue fever cases have soared through Brazil. The obvious cause being the GMO mosquitoes that were allegedly unleashed to stop the disease, not create more of it. Keep in mind that the UN World Mosquito Program received a $50 million grant from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, which is also bankrolling research in more dengue fever vaccines. Takeda, the manufacturer of Qdenga, has also received millions of dollars in cash injections from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Quote, in other words, Bill Gates Foundation money is involved in all sides of the situation, from the gene-edited mosquitoes, which has apparently exacerbated the dengue crisis, to bankrolling companies who are providing the in-demand dengue fever vaccine to Brazil, writes Jamie White for InfoWars. To what end? Someone else in the comments echoed that sentiment, sarcastically thanking Gates for helping to create and release the GMO mosquito responsible for this new public crisis. Quote, the summertime flying bug population in Michigan is probably about 90% deleted over the last decade or so, wrote another about what he is seeing right here in the US. I suspect geoengineering over the years is killing the bug population. We are so they believe that this geoengineering is killing normal regular bugs. This is wild. There's some crazy stuff going on here. And again, no one is calling out Bill Gates on this madness. Brazil is continuing to allow him to make the to release these genetically modified mosquitoes, and it's going to get a lot worse. But let me know what you think. Leave your comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe, and check out jjthepsychotherapist.com for the latest in news. Until next time. Peace.